Pregame.com.
Welcome back to Pregame.tv. We're going to the NFL, and we're going to break down Indianapolis at Cincinnati. And this is going to be Brian's play. And Brian, Indianapolis Colts got back on track last week. You know, if you watch the game, kind of misleading final score. Indianapolis, you know, it was a tight game the whole way, but it's one of those ones you could look, was the glass half full or was the glass half empty? Because Indianapolis, would they have 5 field goals in the
goals in the first quarter or first half?
You know, so yeah, it was a tight game, but it was a tight game because every time they got in the red zone, they couldn't score. So do we give credit, you know, to, you know, their opponent, Tennessee, or the inability of Indianapolis to get the job done? And I know you're a big Indianapolis Colts fan, Ken. I'm starting, and I've said it to you a couple times, and I think it's starting to show more and more week by week. I think this team misses Bruce Arians more than people want to give it credit to. And then take away the security blanket for Andrew Luck and Reggie Wayne. I think the two are the biggest factor for why we're seeing the inconsistency.
No doubt. And then Dwayne Allen was hurt early in the year, and the Colts really looked forward to a double tight end set with Fleener and Allen, a couple of youngsters. Kid out of Clemson, Allen is a big-time prospect, but he got hurt before the season even began. So, yeah, they don't have that type of offense that when they get inside that they're going to be able to just move the ball. They need to come up with big plays, and teams are doubling up on T.Y. Hilton now. He's really their only guy that can stretch the field. Fleener's good. He's a good possession receiver, but a lot of times you can cover him with a good quick linebacker. So, again, they've got to find ways to mix it up. Donald Brown's been better than expected, and Richardson's in the doghouse, basically got benched. So, you know, and Brown's a good receiver out of the backfield. They're going to score, but they are going to rely on Vinatieri field goals. And, you know, he's consistent, especially inside the dome, there's no doubt, but it's going to come back to bite him. They're not going to get past a New England or a Denver kicking field goals when those other teams are scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, and the Cincinnati Bengals, this is a team that, Brian, you know, I've rode a good bit this year. I've been on Cincinnati for several big plays. They came through for me last week in San Diego, and they're a team that I think is still flying under the radar. People don't want to give this team credit. They win some ugly-looking games sometimes. You know, the Green Bay game earlier in the year, you know, the way they won it at the end absolutely was ugly. But they jumped on Green Bay 14-0 early in that game, and then Green Bay scored, the next 31 points or something. And it just was a crazy game. But they're doing what they need to do. Andy Dalton at times looks brilliant, and at times he looks like a raw rookie sometimes with some of the throws that he makes. But this team has a lot of weapons. You know, you've got, you know, power with Green Ellis. You've got Bernard coming out of the backfield. You want the breakaway speed. And he's been, I think he leads them in receptions out of the backfield. Bernard, he's become, you know, the go-to guy, you know, when Dalton checks a play down, and then he can turn a little 3-yard pass into a, you know, a 15, 20-yard gain because of his breakaway speed. And, you know, and then, of course, with, you know, the wide receivers and everything that Cincy has, they present a lot of problems for an Indianapolis team.
That's a great thing, though, Brian, because they did nail it on the head by grabbing Giovanni Bernard out of North Carolina. I thought it was a good pick, but I didn't realize he would pay dividends this much, this quickly, and that takes a lot of pressure off A.J. Green and some of the other receivers. So gives Dalton that guy that, you know, like Mark was saying, can take a 3-yard pass play, kind of like Sproles does for Breeze, and turn it into a big gainer.
Yeah, and Marco's being very, very modest here because I know you had a huge play last week on the Cincinnati Bengals, and as you pointed out, the Bengals have been very good to you this year and taking. You know, I'm really surprised you're not coming to do these videos with like a tiger striped suit on or whatever.
Well, they happen to be in the Pittsburgh Steelers division, so I can't do that.
Well, yeah, but they're making you money.
Yeah,
they are making. They have
I've got no favorites when it comes to
Pittsburgh's
betting.
not making you any money this year.
They've been very good to me. And, you know, the other, we forgot one player in there that I think has been a great addition, too, because you've got the deep threat, you know, going deep with Green, and you've got the situation with Eifert, the tight end. I think he's been a great addition, too, because now you've got that guy that can go over the middle. You know, you got A.J. Green stretching the field deep. You bring, you know, Eifert across the middle, I just think that unless Andy Dalton has a very bad game, he's got so many different offensive weapons that when this team's, everybody's healthy, their offense is as good as anybody's in the AFC.
They've adjusted without Atkins better than I thought they would on the defense, too. So, again, they haven't faced a high wire act offensively. We'll see what happens.
You know what, Brian? This is your free pick, so let's make it official.
All right, the Colts are Ken's team, and we got a little bit of his opinion on this game. And, this is my play on this game. And he'd leave me like 20 seconds because good old Marco D'Angelo's got to write a damn book about a game he doesn't even have a play on. I feel like I'm doing Tuesday videos again. Anyway, I'm going to take the Bengals here. You take a look at the yards per play, 1.2 yard per play advantage over Indy, and they played virtually the same schedule. I think the big advantage here is Cincinnati's pass defense. The league average is 11.0 yards per pass attempt. Cincinnati only allows 9.5. I think that's huge in this game because Oliver Luck went to school. Anyway, I'm old. Okay. But anyway, Andrew Luck really carries this team. And now, as was pointed out, his best receiver's out. So now they've got to double cover their best receiver now. I think that's what's causing all the problems for Indy right now. And now you're playing a team that's very good at defending the pass, which means that Indy has to run the ball. And I know they've ran the ball a little bit better now than the Cleveland guy who was traded, one of the greatest trades for Cleveland. It didn't seem to be at the time, but in retrospect, it was a great trade. You don't draft running backs in the first round. Anyway, enough on that. But I think Cincinnati's by far the better team here. Indy, early in the year, they beat some very good football teams, but they also lost to some very bad football teams. Indy's time is coming, but it won't come this year. Cincinnati's a team, we talked about it in the break. Marco's very high on Cincinnati, second or third best team in the AFC. It's not that big of a surprise if Cincinnati goes to the Super Bowl. This is a good football team. Laid 5.5, 6 in this game. We will take the Bengals over the Colts, who I believe are fading.
All right, great stuff from Brian. You want to add something, Ken?
Well, I would just tell you, that was the greatest stretch of 20 seconds that I've ever seen. He's getting on you. That was about a 4-minute, 20-second deal right there. Not bad.
In the Tuesday reference, I wish I could pull a movie reference out right now just to make him feel right at home with Fez on Tuesday.
We are starting setting over-unders on movie references on the radio show now.
All right, well, there you have it. Everything you could possibly want to know about Indianapolis and Cincinnati. That wraps that one up. We're going to come back. We're going to take a look at Minnesota at Baltimore. That'll be my free pick. That's next. Pregame.tv.